guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome to another horror review. Tonight we're looking at a British 1974 horror film called Symptoms. Now this is released on BFI. It comes with a Blu-ray disc, it comes with a DVD, and it also comes with a booklet. So it's a pretty cool little package. So let's have a look, see if there's any special features on the disc. Okay, this is the main menu for the film Symptoms. Let's have a look at any extras that may be on here. Original trailer on vampires and other symptoms. From Barcelona to Tunbridge Wells, the films of Jose Larraz. An interview with Angela Pleasance. An interview with Lorna Helmborn, an interview with Brian Smedley Aston, and that is the special features on Symptoms. So there are a few, which is pretty cool, but it is a BFI release, and there is more special features, but they're going to be on the DVD of the set, but that's the ones that are on the Blu-ray disc. So let's get into the story. So this is about a troubled young lady called Hannah, who's played by Angela Pleasance, who's the daughter of Donald Pleasance, and she's living in this sort of old house, kind of on her own. But one of her friends called Anna, played by Lorna, Lorna? Let's have a quick look. Sorry guys, need to put my glasses on. Her friend Anna is played by Lorna Helbron, and she's come to stay with her in the house, and it's a beautiful house. It's a very strange sort of setup, this film. We see Anna arrive at the house in a sort of 1970s car. It's based in the 1970s, but when you get into the house is set in Hammer Victorian times. It's like it's not changed from it at all, because it's almost like Hannah's living in the sort of past of this sort of environment, and they seem to get on quite well. And sort of like Hannah says that she only lives and uses a few rooms in this house. It's quite a big house. It's quite a large house, to be honest. It's a very sort of like, not a mansion, but it's a very large, probably estate house, I would say. And it's beautiful, and it's really stunning inside. And there's just something not right going on. As soon as the film sort of starts, it's got this atmosphere and this sort of looming sense of dread throughout the sort of film. And we understand that let's see if I can get any more names of this, that Hannah did have another friend staying there. Let's have a look if her name's on here. No, it's not, and I'm not very good with names, but she did have another friend with her, and we cut to her by this little like stagnated sort of lake, very beautiful though, lake, and she's sort of like kissing a guy by the lake, and then we see clips of a body in the lake, so we tend to believe that it's her. We find out later on if it's not, but we then also meet the groundsman called Brady, and he's played by Peter Vaughan. And now Peter Vaughan is quite a famous British actor. He's most famous for is the TV sitcom Citizen Smith. He plays the dad of Wolfie's girlfriend, so he's been in that, and he's well known for that. But he plays this groundsman that seems to have this sort of, not a fetish, but likes to go around sort of catching birds and killing them and draining the blood out of them. But why? Again, we're trying to figure that out as the film goes along. And Hannah doesn't like him, so we think. She talks to Anne, who's moved her, about him, and Anne's sort of like come there to sort of get away, I think, from her relationship. She's broken up with her boyfriend, and she's gone there to stay with Hannah and catch up with some sort of work like writing. I call her Fag Ash Lil because Anne just seems to smoke every 5 minutes of the film. And so we get to see the environment quite a lot, and the local village. We meet the pharmacist and the assistant. Now the assistant is played by Mike Grady, who is also from Citizen Smith. So they must have both gone on to star in the same show. But he also went to star in Last of the Summer Wine. So he's in there as a young assistant. And even the pharmacist picks up there's something not right with Hannah. She's acting a bit strange, and she does act really strange in the film. And as things sort of progress in the film, Anne meets Brady, and Hannah gets jealous and doesn't like that at all. And that's when things start to go wrong in the house, and bad things kind of happen. And we get to from a very eerie and very sort of, like I said, dread kind of feel to a film, to a very quite literally quite disturbing and violent sort of like third quarter. So I'm not going to tell you what's going on with this film. When I saw the special features, and it talks about vampires. I'll let you know now, this is not about vampires. So it's a little bit misleading, that title. When I saw it, I thought, is it a vampire film? Because of, but it's not. It is a very, very English, very British film, and it really does feel like the 1970s. But let's talk about the characters. Angela Pleasance, wow, she is incredible in this film. Now, I've seen her she was in From Beyond the Grave, the Amicus film, which she starred alongside her dad. And her character was quite childlike in that, and it's quite similar in this. She's very, she looks a lot like her dad, but in some angles she looks really pretty and really beautiful, and in other times she looks like a doll, almost like doll-like, with her eyes are so glaring, and she's almost like, wow, she's got this distinctive look about her, and she brings that to the character of Hannah wonderfully. Really, really cool. Yeah, now Anne's character, like I said, Fagash Lil, she's pretty cool too. She plays it quite straight, and we get to meet her boyfriend later in the film as he turns up trying to make up with her. And he sort of like comes back to the house to try and find her later in the film, and he comes across a few issues in the film later. But she is quite cool in the character. Now Brady, well, it's a difficult one because he spends most of the time on the film on a boat. He does, on this lake, and I know what he's doing. He's looking for bodies, and because he believes that bodies are being dumped in there, and Hannah thinks people have been drowned in there. But it's a different story, and there are other characters that turn up. There's like a housekeeper, and she's lovely. The pharmacist is really cool. Every character has a role to play in this film. They're not there for just to be there. They do actually have a place to be in this film, as well as the photography and the house. It has a real sort of ambience about it that sort of like brings that sense of dread, because it's quite darkly lit in places and then very bright in others, and it's just beautiful house, wonderful, and it's like a character on its own. So let's talk about my final verdict. This was incredible. It's my first watch of the film. Absolutely brilliant film. I loved it from start to finish. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. I can't fault it. Yes, it is a bit of a slow burn film, but I love slow burn horror films. I like the story progression. I like the character progression in a film, and it can make or break a film. I would much rather that than a film that's all out action with a Scooby-Doo ending. There's no Scooby-Doo ending in this, fear not. You have to work it out yourself. But it was incredible. It was one of the most... Now, I did a video of underrated. This maybe could be classed as underrated because I've never heard of it until I picked the film up. And I've been a horror fan all my life, so it's weird that I have not come across this. So I could class it as an underrated gem. It is definitely a gem, and it's such a good film, guys. The characters are really cool. The story it's a little bit leaves you hanging, thinking what's going on, because you're waiting for this big reveal. You're waiting for her to be like a vampire, because like I said in the special features, there's a special feature like about the film. It discusses sort of like vampires, but it's nothing to do with it. But it goes in directions all over the place that you don't kind of expect, and I like it. I like the directions it went in, because when we meet Brady, you tend to think, is he this guy that's demised her first friend? Because she talks about him in a bad way, and when he talks to Anne and stuff, he comes across as quite arrogant and horrible. Even when he talks to Hannah in the film, she tries to avoid him most of the film, but when she does talk to him, he's again quite arrogant. But his character went a different direction, and I'm kind of thinking, because it did remind me a little bit of Let the Right One In, when I thought, is he a provider for her? But I still don't know on that. But it also had elements and reminded me a lot of Psycho, of the film, because Hannah's obviously got mental health issues, and it's the story twists and turns when you think that she's quite just this innocent young girl who's fearful of things, and that still plays out, and she is, but she's hiding something, and I want you to watch it to find out. Now, this is probably still available. I picked it up dirt cheap. There was a sale months ago on HMV, and they had quite a few BFI sort of films. And other films that I've been looking at, like Boston Stranglers, Sleepwalkers, and things like that, and this was among them, and I picked it up then, and I'm so glad I did. It's an essential British horror film that is kind of like I've never known about until tonight, and I love it. I've fallen in love with this film. I've fallen in love with Angela Pleasance. She's beautiful, stunning, startling, and she has a face for horror. Although her dad's got quite a gentle, kind face, and she does resemble him, but the way her face is, and it's almost like a paired doll. Like she's just incredible and stunning on the screen. Really cool, guys. Symptoms, 10 out of 10. Any of you guys seen it? If you have, let me know down below. It's a great film, guys. I'm not kidding you. If you've not seen it, I highly recommend you watching it. But be warned, it is a slow burn. Nothing happens in the film, really, apart from eeriness and creepiness. And a few jump scares do happen throughout the first 2/3 of the film. But it all kicks off in the last third of the film as the story unravels. And wow, it's great, really cool. Guys, check out some horror channels for me. Check out Horror Hands, Horror Geek, Manview Film, RS Design, Pizzlewell, I'm Icelord, Cat Watches Horror Movies, Grumpy Andrew's Horror House, and The Maniac. And a massive shout out to my lad. Till next time, look after yourselves, look after one another, and I really hope I'll see you all soon.